The road stretched ahead like a never-ending serpent, disappearing into the dense forest on either side. It was late at night, and Officer Jake Williams drove his patrol car along the desolate highway, the only source of light being the dim glow of his dashboard and the occasional flicker of his headlights illuminating the trees. Jake was assigned to patrol this remote stretch of road, notorious for its eerie atmosphere and unsettling rumors. As he drove, he couldn't shake off the feeling of being watched. Suddenly, his radio crackled to life. "Unit 12, come in. We've received reports of a vehicle accident near your location. Please investigate." Jake acknowledged the call and picked up speed, his heart pounding with a mixture of anticipation and dread. He reached the reported location and found a mangled car lying by the side of the road, its headlights still flickering weakly. Approaching cautiously, Jake activated his dashcam, intending to document the scene. But as he stepped out of his patrol car, a chill ran down his spine. Something about the atmosphere felt off, as if the air itself was thick with malevolence. Ignoring the sensation, Jake approached the wrecked vehicle and peered inside. What he saw made his blood run cold. There, slumped over the steering wheel, was the lifeless body of a young woman. Her face was frozen in a rictus of terror, and blood pooled beneath her. Shaken, Jake called for backup and began to secure the area. But as he reviewed the footage from his dashcam later that night, he noticed something unsettling. In the moments leading up to the crash, there was a shadowy figure lurking at the edge of the road, its eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. Jake's blood ran cold as he realized that he wasn't alone on that desolate highway. The next incident occurred a few weeks later, when a group of teenagers decided to take a late-night drive around Willow Lake, a secluded spot rumored to be haunted by the restless spirits of those who had drowned there years ago. Among the group was Sarah, a thrill-seeker who scoffed at the idea of ghosts and curses. As they drove along the winding road that circled the lake, Sarah couldn't resist the urge to provoke whatever malevolent force was said to reside there. Turning to her friends, she suggested they perform a seance by the water's edge, eager to prove that there was nothing to fear. Ignoring their protests, she grabbed a flashlight and stepped out of the car, the others reluctantly following suit. They gathered in a circle on the shore, their voices hushed as they called out to the spirits of the lake. But as the wind picked up and the trees whispered with an otherworldly echo, Sarah felt a creeping sense of unease. Suddenly, the flashlight flickered and died, plunging them into darkness. Panic ensued as they scrambled to their feet, their eyes darting nervously in every direction. Then, from the depths of the lake, they heard it, a mournful wail that sent shivers down their spines. It was the sound of the drowned reaching out from beyond the grave to claim their next victim. In a blind panic, the teenagers raced back to their car and peeled out onto the road, desperate to escape the cursed shores of Willow Lake. But as they drove, Sarah glanced at the dash cam and froze. Reflected in the rearview mirror was the ghostly image of a woman, her pale face twisted in agony as she reached out for them with spectral hands. Sarah screamed, and the others turned to see what had terrified her. But when they looked back, the apparition was gone, leaving only the empty road stretching out behind them like a pathway to the underworld. The final dashcam footage came from a lone truck driver, making his nightly rounds along a deserted stretch of highway. As he drove, he spotted a figure standing by the side of the road, a hitchhiker, their thumb outstretched in silent plea. Feeling a pang of sympathy, the truck driver pulled over and rolled down his window. "Need a lift?" he called out, the words swallowed by the vast emptiness of the night. The hitchhiker nodded gratefully and climbed into the cab, their face obscured by the shadows. As they drove, the truck driver tried to make conversation, but the hitchhiker remained eerily silent, their gaze fixed on the road ahead. Uneasy, the truck driver glanced at the dashcam, hoping to distract himself from the growing sense of dread gnawing at his insides. But what he saw made his blood run cold. Reflected in the rearview mirror was not the hitchhiker he had picked up, but something far more sinister. A twisted, spectral figure with hollow eyes and a mouth stretched into a grotesque grin. Terrified, the truck driver slammed on the brakes and leaped out of the cab, his heart pounding with fear. But when he turned back to confront the apparition, it was gone, leaving only the empty highway stretching out before him like a ribbon of darkness.